Welcome to Ghana, the land of gold, where the skies are...
Okay, so you ready for this one?
Hit me.
Today, we are diving deep into something that is well, pretty wild.
Ooh, I like wild.
It's ambitious, that's for sure. It's this proposed resort in Ghana, and they're saying it's going to be the biggest resort in Africa.
Wow. Okay, biggest in Africa. That's a big claim right there.
Yeah. But it's not just the size.
Mhm.
That's not the only thing that's wild about it. This resort wants to give you, like, experiences from all over the globe, but you never have to leave Ghana. So think about it like, you're walking down the Champs-Élysées 1 minute and then the next you're like grabbing some street food, straight from Bangkok.
Whoa.
So to unpack all this, we're looking at this article. It's called Ghana, Resort at the World Center.
That's a pretty bold title.
Right.
At the World Center.
Yeah, they're not messing around, are they?
Okay, so let's get into this. What's the vision here?
So the guy behind it, his name is Kennedy Agyapong. He's a businessman. And he's not just thinking about a luxury resort, It's like he wants to make a global experience, like literally bring the whole world to Ghana.
So it's more than just like, fancy rooms and a pool.
Oh, yeah, way more. He wants a world-class, hub. And he's talking about, crazy cool architectural design. And then on top of that, he wants to drop these replicas of famous places, right in the resort.
Replicas like mini versions of like Times Square and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So there's the plan to have, Times Square.
Yeah.
All the energy of Times Square, the high-end stuff.
Okay, so are we talking like bright lights, billboards, all that jazz?
Oh, for sure. All the glitz and glam. And then there's the Champs-Élysées. Imagine strolling down a Ghanaian version of that with little cafes and designer shops.
Ooh, designer shops. I like the sound of that. But hold on. Why these specific places? Why Times Square and not, say, I don't know, the Colosseum in Rome or something? What's the thought process behind these choices?
That's a good question. And to be honest, the article doesn't really dive into, the specific reasons for choosing these.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting to think about, who are they trying to attract? What kind of traveler is going to be drawn to this kind of a resort?
Yeah, that's a good point. It seems like they're going after a crowd that's into, that modern cosmopolitan vibe, like the kind of people who love hitting up those big city hotspots.
Exactly. And I guess that makes sense, right? I mean, if you're going for the biggest resort in Africa, you got to aim for a market that can, fill the place up.
Yeah.
But it does make you wonder, can they really capture, the real essence of these places? Or is it going to end up feeling kind of I don't know, a bit artificial, a bit too, manufactured?
Yeah, that's the big question, right? It's like you can build a replica of Times Square. You can put up the billboards, the lights, the shops. But can you really recreate the energy, the chaos, the realness of it?
Right. Are you really getting Times Square, or are you just getting a very polished, kind of theme park version of it?
Yeah.
It's going to be fascinating to see how they handle that balance between, recreating something and actually representing it authentically.
Definitely. And speaking of authenticity, we can't forget that Ghana's got its own incredible stuff to offer, right? The article talks about its rich culture, historical sites, those vibrant festivals.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Ghana's already a country that's got a lot going for it in terms of tourism. And if they play their cards right, this resort could really build on that. Use those existing strengths to sort of propel Ghana into, the big leagues, up there with the Dubais and the Singapores of the world.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I love how they're using their location in their marketing, being close to the world center point. That's a pretty unique selling point.
Absolutely. It's clever, right? It's like, hey, come experience the world. And oh, by the way, you're also at the center of it all. It's like they're aiming to attract everyone. Travel enthusiasts, influencers, business bigwigs, the whole 9 yards.
I bet they're already dreaming up those Instagram captions, right? Living my best life at the center of the world. # blessed, all that.
# resort life, # Ghana, all those good ones. Okay, but jokes aside, though, let's get real about the economic side of this. Because the article talks about, job creation, attracting international investment, boosting tourism.
Yeah.
But how big of a deal could this really be for Ghana?
I mean, the potential is huge. We're talking about a project of this scale. It's going to need a massive workforce, right? You've got construction, hospitality, entertainment, retail. We're talking about thousands of jobs. Easy. Direct jobs, and then all the indirect ones that spin off from that.
It's like a ripple effect, right? The whole economy could feel the impact.
Exactly. And if they can really pull in those high-spending tourists, I mean, the revenue generated from this thing could be huge. It could really give Ghana's economy a serious boost.
Yeah, it's like, think about all the money people spend at a place like Dubai or Singapore. If they can even capture a fraction of that, that's a game changer.
Absolutely. But let's be real, building these super accurate replicas, it's a huge job. And we got to think about the challenges, right? Like, how do you pull this off in Ghana? Are there concerns about the infrastructure, logistics, the impact on the environment?
Right, like those are all real factors. And honestly, the article doesn't get into those specifics.
Yeah, it's more focused on the big vision, the excitement. But yeah, you're right. Big projects like this, they often come with big hurdles.
Exactly. Like you need to make sure you have the resources, the skilled labor, and you got to do it all in a way that's, sustainable.
Totally. And navigating those hurdles, that's going to be key to making this thing a success.
Okay, so to recap, what we have here is like a super ambitious project that wants to change the way we think about travel, right? It's about bringing a taste of the world to one place while at the same time trying to boost Ghana's economy and, put it on the map as a global destination.
Yeah, and it kind of makes you think, right, is this a sign of things to come? Is travel going to become more about these curated experiences, less about, I don't know, authentic exploration? Could this whole thing become a model for other places, like mixing global attractions with local culture?
Man, that is a big question, isn't it? Like, is this the future of travel? It's definitely food for thought.
Yeah, big time.
So we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on all of this? Hit us up on social media. Let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, keep exploring.
Keep exploring.
See you next time.